You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's The Client List After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The Client List After Show.
Good evening, AfterBuzzers.
Technically, it's good morning.
Good morning. We are here at the AfterBuzz TV studios doing things the way things always should be done, with Bing. If you've been looking for me, you found me. My name is David Schifilliti. I'll be your host for the evening, a.k.a. Waldo. If you are listening to us and not watching us, I'm wearing a shirt that looks exactly like the Where's Waldo t-shirt. Anyway, moving on. Across the table from me, we have the lovely Dua.
Hello, how is everybody?
Hello.
Oh my.
And the talented Sarah.
Oh, I'm not lovely?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Talented, I'll take that.
And we are here doing The Client List, Season 1, Episode 10, titled Past is Prologue.
Which you hated.
I don't really...
The title.
The title, I'm just like, it's like a lot of P's and like, it's not alliteration, and it's just like, I don't really like that title. I think it's kind of like a title.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of the finale?
I think for a finale, it's one of the better finales I've seen in a really long time for a television show.
Yeah, I think it ended well.
It ended on such a great note, and just, it sort of, I'm kind of surprised. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of questions, which I like
There
about
are a lot
finales.
of questions. I mean, usually, I here at AfterBuzz, since I've started, I've done like a lot of finale shows, and I always feel like they always hype up everything up until the finale, and then the finale happens, and you're like, well, that episode kind of sucked. Why do I want to come back and watch it now?
Right.
But you do anyways, because you're excited for everything else to happen. But this sort of nothing over the season, I know we only had 10 episodes, really hyped up to what was going to happen in the finale. We never really knew where it was going.
No, and they did have a lot of little storylines that I don't know, they were really interesting.
They were, but a lot of them were just sort of like, they happened and then that was it.
Well, right. You didn't know exactly what was going to carry on throughout the whole thing. And I think they were obviously just trying to figure out what we liked.
And we'll give them credit for like season 1, only 10 episodes, fitting in so much stuff. I mean, kudos to them.
I'm definitely excited about season 2.
I am too.
I am too. So what do you guys think about Kyle coming back? And I just have to say that I'm really, really happy when he was like, can I just say hello to the kids? And it was like, bam, that door right in his face.
So great. Such a great moment. Before we get started on that, I want to know what you thought about the season finale.
I liked it. I liked the season finale. The only thing that I actually I didn't like about it was the fact that Georgia left Riley in charge of the rub. And we can talk more about that.
We will talk more about that later.
Yeah, but that was the only thing that really kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Okay.
But other than that, I thought it was really, really good. And I always like it when finales end on cliffhangers.
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
It is important to get your viewers back and to get them to want to continue watching your show and continue seeing what's going to happen. Because I know the Lifetime shows are like a lot of other shows on cable where it's like, it's another year before the season starts again.
I don't think this one's going to be like that, though.
It is.
No, I feel like they're already, I mean,
it doesn't matter if they've started shooting it or not. It's...
Really?
Yeah. It'll be like around the same time next year when it starts up.
What?
That's what happens. Same thing with like Drop Dead Diva, which is also on Lifetime. It's a summer show. It's only on during the summer. It's 12 episodes and that's it. And then it comes back a year later, and then they like...
Might have to petition that.
Repeats throughout the year.
Do we know when season 2 starts yet? Have they?
No, they haven't announced it.
I feel like it's a fall. I feel like it has a fall premiere. I feel like I've heard
It
that.
might have a fall premiere, but then that'll be its time slot.
Oh, so then
It'll premiere in fall, this
then
coming
keep
fall,
going.
and then the next year it'll just come back in fall.
oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. We don't have to wait as long this time around.
No, this time around we might not have to wait as long if it's a fall show.
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be good. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And we should tell our viewers and our listeners and apologize to them as to why we're coming in so late, 2 weeks after the fact.
Not my fault.
It's not anyone's fault, really. We will touch on it a little bit later on news and gossip, but we were planning on having a special guest for our finale show, and then unfortunately there were some personal issues that came up, which pushed back our show, and then we had personal issues in our own lives that pushed back our show again.
Right.
But, things happen. We're here for you.
Doing it.
Also, to answer your question, thank you, David.
We had a question. Did you have a question?
No, I don't have a
About the
question.
show.
I'm answering a question.
Season
We
2.
have
good.
15 episodes, but they
that's
are
great.
only coming back in 2013.
Yeah.
So you get
What?
5 more in 2013.
Yeah.
Thank you,
5
Phil.
more in 2013.
Yeah. Which is 3 more than
That only means that they've 5
Some of
more.
their other shows.
That means they've only shot 5 more.
No. He's saying that in 2013 we'll have a 15-episode season as opposed to a 10-episode
gotcha.
season. Yeah.
Gotcha. That was unclear for me. All right.
I'm glad we figured
Math,
that out.
okay.
But let's jump into the show.
All right.
Kyle's back, you guys.
Kyle is sexy. I'm into him.
Kyle's a jerk.
I know. I like him.
Okay, he came back. I'm with you that I'm so happy that Riley slammed the door in his face. And then we went into like a montage.
Well, in breaking news, he's been gone for a year.
A year, okay. It's like each episode, if you think about it, it is a month and a half between each episode, I would say.
I mean, I had to pause it and just rewind it a couple times. I was like, did they say a year? I'm like, because we were just talking about on the dating
Yeah.
episode how it's literally been like a week, we felt like, since he left.
Right.
Oh, and she was
And
jumping
she was
in.
dating.
Yeah, she-
Jumping into dating.
Because that's how they sort of set it up. It was never like her hair never got longer.
It was always really
It
long.
was always really long. She didn't lose weight. She didn't gain weight. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, nothing.
the kids didn't change.
Kids didn't get any older. Like, nothing. It was just like, I thought this season was 3 weeks long
Me too.
in their world.
That's generally a really long span of time for a season, right? A whole year? Like,
Well, usually, if you think about it, like on like let's say a CW show, a time span is normally a year on those shows. But those shows also have 24 episodes,
Right.
25, 26 episodes. Sometimes, like Vampire Diaries, I know likes to do 6 months
Yeah. Well, and I
for
feel
a
like
season.
I feel like they either that or a show just doesn't address time whatsoever. But this show, they do talk about time all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
they're
do.
like, it's been a year, it's been 6 months. Like they clearly talk about it almost every episode, and you're like, whoa.
It'd be better if they
three
just
months go?
didn't mention it. I
Right,
think.
right.
Just don't address it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Leave us wondering.
Because it's always really shocking whenever they say, like, they're going to be like, it's been 5 years. And we're going to be like, what? Like, really?
the kids on next season are all grown up and in high school, and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, 10 years have passed.
Right? Like in a soap opera, all of a sudden they're just older.
Great.
That would be amazing.
I'd love that.
But anyway, Kyle's back.
Kyle
and
is back. And
he's
you know
kinda
what?
sexy.
He seems to be wanting to make amends, sort of. I mean, when he was having that conversation with Lacey's husband, and
Yeah.
Lacey's husband was sort of like, well, are you here to stay? And he was like, I don't know.
Right.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I stay for a week. Maybe I leave.
Right.
Yeah, he's kind of, I feel like Kyle's character is kind of a tool. Like
He
he seemed
is.
really pathetic, and he's like very like
Oh, I
tail tucked in between his legs, and
I think that same thing about Evan,
Yeah.
not
Really?
Kyle.
Well, no, okay. Evan just doesn't act on his feelings, and understandably so. He's a Southern man. He doesn't want to step on anyone's toes.
Kyle's a Southern man also.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying before you interrupt me.
Rude.
This is why you're the talented Sarah.
Not the lovely.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Because you're always interrupting me.
Move on. Get over it.
Okay, so he is like a Southern gentleman. He, even though his brother's not there, he knows that like Riley's still technically a married woman. He's a gentleman. He's not going to like do anything to get in the way of that life, I don't think.
Like what, kiss her?
Well, they kissed already. But, you know, like bone down, as Sarah would like to say.
You know.
Or like show up with just wearing a tool belt. You know, he's not going to do stuff like that.
Kyle would do that. He would show
Kyle
up.
would do that. Evan would not.
Right.
Right. Evan, I think, has always been at the forefront of, not Evan, Kyle. I get their names confused in my head. I don't know why. They just blend into one name.
I get it.
Kyle, I feel like, has always been like the A-list brother, let's call him, right? He was like the star quarterback. He was like going to be a professional ball player, and then he got injured. You know, he like led that life. And Evan was sort of like in the shadows of his brother his entire life.
Kyle's a little bit hotter. He's a little bit edgier.
He's a little taller.
A little taller, a little darker in every way.
You stop pen clicking. Don't give me a pen that clicks.
Get rid of your pen. David has a pen clicking problem.
I do. I used to do it in school. I used to sit there and click my pen and not even realize I was doing it.
It's like a nervous tick.
Well,
It is, but it's sort of just like one of those things that, like, if the pen clicks, I'm going to sit there and click it. The
Right.
whole
Yeah,
Wait a
this doesn't sound so good for podcasting.
I know. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. I'm not done talking about this. You don't like Evan?
no.
She thinks he's wimpy.
Yeah, I think he's wimpy. I mean, I think he's an attractive man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, no one could say that he's not. I just don't think that he just doesn't make me weak in the knees. Like he doesn't really do it for me. I would rather, I mean, Kyle is a terrible guy, but just physically speaking and kind of like mannerism wise, I like Kyle better. I don't think Riley should be with him and all that jazz. I'm just saying purely physical and personality type. Evan just doesn't do it for me. He's too weak.
Well, I think the two brothers are representative of very, like, Kyle is like the bad boy.
Yes.
You know, the runner, the drug addict. And Evan is, of course, in his brother's shadow, but he's also the good person. He'll pick up the pieces. He's the responsible one. He'll watch the kids. So
I mean, we do have very two stereotypical personalities of men.
Right.
The good guy and the bad guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Evan's like too good, though. It's like, ugh, snooze.
That's the thing. Like in real life, everyone's sort of like a mesh of both.
right. That's
Right.
true.
You never find a purely bad guy and a purely good guy.
right.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone has demons in their closet.
Yes, they do. Everyone has a dark side.
Exactly.
And Sarah likes the bad
I
boys.
do. I do. I
Just
do.
in case.
Yeah.
If you want to call her,
If you'd like
Her
to call
number's
in.
424-256-1729. Or
Oh, I love
if you
it.
want to reach her, you can comment on our iTunes page. You can go on, log on, subscribe to our show, tell your friends. I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind. And comment and rate on our show and just do us that favor.
Tell David to stop singing, please.
Tell me to stop
And-
singing and
stop
clicking
clicking
my
your
pen.
He's very sweet. Everyone has bad habits. It's okay.
Everybody has bad habits.
If you're going to
I
have a bad
lots
habit,
of
that's
them.
not a bad one to have, though.
I've got many bad habits.
True,
Let's just not
true.
discuss them right now. People I know are watching this.
Can we talk about Georgia now?
We can.
Oh, yeah.
I
Are we
always
done with
like
Kyle?
talking about Georgia.
Yeah, we're done with him.
Is
Right.
Yeah, for the most part. I
Ish.
mean,
Well-
I think, you know, it's important to mention, if anyone was wondering, during the montage scene, that was Jennifer Love Hewitt
Oh,
covering
right.
Christina Perry's Jar of Hearts.
I did not believe it when you
amazing.
told me.
Oh my God.
I fact checked.
I didn't even.
I
know that
didn't
she
even
sang.
have to fact. She has
Confirmed.
2 albums.
How do I deal? Hello. Bare
And
naked.
Bare Naked.
I have it in my car right now, in
As do
case
I.
you want to. Yeah.
In case you want to borrow it. Just
Yeah,
say
in
that. You
case you
can't
wanna
borrow
borrow
it.
it.
You can't borrow it. I don't want to spare my copy.
yeah. And she also covers that Janis Joplin song.
Yeah, she does on
Yeah.
Bare Naked.
Yeah, on Bare Naked.
Yeah.
I personally like
Bobby
How Do I
McGee.
Deal.
I really enjoyed Jar of Hearts, her cover.
Yeah, I really
That's
like. Oh, see, love. Phil,
I wish you could pull up the Jar of
he
Hearts.
can. He can. I pulled it up right away.
Okay,
Hey,
let's pull up
Phil.
Jar of Hearts.
Phil, Google Jennifer Love Hewitt Jar of Hearts.
Did she record a video for it?
No.
I would not be surprised.
Open road. You don't love this one?
I do love this. I mean, it was one of those moments that like I really loved from Ghost Whisperer when Jennifer Love Hewitt was on Ghost Whisperer. Whenever, here it is, she referenced like other parts of her life,
Right.
and like other movies she'd had been in, or like she'd be in the car. And I Know What You Did Last Summer, if you watch Ghost Whisperer back to back and you run through all the seasons, is mentioned 300 times.
Yeah.
Because Jennifer Love Hewitt's character on Ghost Whisperer loved horror films, and she was always like, we're going to watch vintage horror films. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Don't you love that that's considered vintage now?
Literally, that is like an exact line.
Yeah.
And someone in the show was like, I Know What You Did Last Summer is not a vintage film. She was like, that's old. Let's turn on the radio and Bare Naked is playing. Like,
That's great.
it was awesome. And I think it's really fun to like when you poke fun at yourself.
Sings.
And I love when Jennifer Love Hewitt sings also. I wish she had a stronger singing career because she really does have a really incredible voice.
Yeah, she does.
She does, yeah.
And you can tell that in this song, it's not auto-tuned at all.
Yeah.
It's just, she has an incredible voice. I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought it was really
wonderful. Thank you for playing that.
Thank you for playing
Yeah,
that.
that was
Speaking of
nice.
Jennifer, she's actually, I've had a chance to meet her now for the second time.
Oh, have you? Where'd you meet her?
Name dropper.
Hey, come on now.
Right?
Bragger.
No, but what I will say is I'm gonna say this about her personality. One of our AfterBuzzers was she was getting some stuff, and Jennifer.
I wasn't that special.
What's that?
Huh?
Oh my goodness, Dave. Well, you cut me off one more time.
I will.
No, but one of our AfterBuzzers, she was like carrying stuff, and Jennifer saw her, and she was the only one around. She's like, "Oh, let me help you with that," and she was like, "Oh, you don't have to." And Jennifer was like, "No, don't worry. Where are you going?" And helped her like 2 flights stairs to carry a bunch of stuff.
I love stories like that.
Yeah.
She
Those
is
are
a
the best.
Texas girl.
She does seem like a very genuinely sweet woman.
That's great.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. Moving right along.
Oh,
for
God.
this and fancy free.
I'm scared.
You
the
should be
rub.
frightened. The rub. I think the rub is like, I think we predicted this a while back, you and I, before you joined us, Dua, that there isn't a feasible way for them to keep the rub going on.
A rubbin'.
Exactly. Thank you for saying that. There just really isn't in the world of the television show because of what we knew from the movie, that it can't be around forever.
Right. It's just sort of.
Especially if each season's going to be a year long.
Right. Yeah.
Something's going to have to
Yeah.
change. And
It's
we
a
sort of
character.
saw the beginning of, it is a character.
Yeah.
Very much so. We sort of saw the beginnings of that, I think, in this season finale when Georgia decides to leave. And we're sort of left hanging with that character, whether or not she's going to be coming back next season.
Well, right. 'Cause she says it's only temporary, but you're like,
Is it?
How
I mean, she's sort of like,
temporary?
she leaves Riley in charge of the rub and is sort of like, here, I'm giving you the reins. It's only temporary, but this is where all the important information is. And this is what
case
you
I
need to
never
know.
come back.
In case the S hits the fan.
It wasn't raining when Noah built the ark.
yes.
Love it.
That was my favorite line of the whole show.
Because it's true.
Yeah, but she knew to get the hell out of
But
Dodge.
she knew to run.
Yeah.
She knew to run.
That's really that's kind of sad though, because she knows that something's gonna happen, and even though it seems like, oh, that's nice that she left Riley in charge, like she's completely, screwing her over.
Well,
kind
I
of.
think the thing was is that,
Self-preservation.
yeah, it is sort of self-preservation. It's like, cover my ass before I worry about you. But I think she genuinely thought that the cops were watching her,
Really?
which is a little naive, I think. That it's like, they're only watching you because you're running a whorehouse.
Right. Just because someone else is in charge doesn't mean
They're going to stop watching the
Yeah.
whorehouse.
right.
Right.
So she's gonna get. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? She could come back. She could not come back. You'll be really sad if she doesn't come back.
Because I live for Loretta Devine.
I know.
And I wish there was another moment where Loretta Devine and Jennifer Love Hewitt could sing together. I'm just putting that out there for the producers if they're listening to us right now.
It's this little season 2
We
premiere.
would love
Yeah.
it. They sang together once already. The karaoke one.
Yeah, but they were like, oh, wasted.
So it wasn't full.
It wasn't full out.
Yeah.
And only Jennifer Love Hewitt was singing.
Right.
And Loretta Devine was singing backup.
Does she sing?
Loretta Devine is
Yeah.
a huge Broadway star.
Yeah.
She is.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's where she started.
What has she been in
Many, many shows.
that I would like?
Nothing you would like.
Like what? Like what has she been in? What's her most famous show?
Was she in Chicago?
She was in Chicago.
Okay, well, I love Chicago, so you don't even know me at all. Thanks a lot.
I don't know you at all.
I know. We just met.
Who do you think you are?
We need the Jennifer Love Hewitt one on like
On a loop.
speed dial.
Yeah.
What if they did a musical episode?
Dial.
On this show would be awful.
That would be so
I would love
weird.
it.
I don't want to see Selena singing and dancing,
be
stuff
awful.
like that. Colin, no.
We should talk about the rep.
Okay.
Okay. So Jennifer Love Hewitt is left in charge. Riley's left in charge. You hated this, and tell us why.
I just, number one, I don't think it's realistic. Out of everybody there, and even though, yes, we do find out that she's been there now for a year, but she's been there the shortest period of time of anybody else.
Do you think Jolene is more qualified? Because I do.
The prude?
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's who should be in charge.
I don't agree.
Only because she's like a nervous wreck.
Because she doesn't have experience with the client list. She doesn't know
Oh,
what
that's
that
true.
entails
That
to
is
the
very
fullest.
true.
And it
I'll
might
give you
go
that.
against all of her morals and
Yeah,
good judgment.
she might start scaring the clients away.
With what?
With, you know,
Her crazy
she's-
face?
Yeah, she's like nervous and all like freaking out.
Her judgments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her
That's
judging
true.
them when
Maybe.
they walk in.
Maybe no, she doesn't judge anybody. I don't think.
And she has that whole thing with, you know, her son and the adoption, and she's, you know, off the
I
register.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah. I wonder if they're ever going to talk
They're never
about
gonna bring it up again.
They just stopped talking about that storyline, didn't they?
Well,
Oh
they-
yeah, it was like 5 seconds.
Well, they gave them each, I noticed they gave each of the other girls like a little something else, but then they never went back to it for any of them. You know,
No.
Dee Ann has that whole thing with, you know, what's his name? Daniel Mead. I'm just going to call him Daniel
Yeah.
Mead from Ugly Betty forever.
That's fine.
She has that whole thing, and Kendra has her whole thing going on,
Yeah.
but they devoted like one episode each to each of those things, and then that was it.
And that was the end of
So, yeah, I mean, I guess they only have, you know, a short time span to do all that.
And they
so
need to
it makes
focus on
sense.
our girl.
Yeah, totally.
She
There's
needs to
plenty.
have moments where she montages and sings.
Yeah, it's exactly.
We need these things. We
We need
need
them.
a leather cutout dress.
I like that Riley's first order of business when she ran the rub was to rehire Dee Ann.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Well, because, you know, Dee Ann was fired, I think, very hastily.
right.
And Selena could have been fired just as well for what she did
Right.
and was not.
I have a question. It's kind of obscure. Is there a difference between the pink robes and the white robes? Because I noticed on this episode.
Some girls were pink, some were white.
Yes.
I've been thinking about that for a while, and I was trying to figure out if the girls that wore pink did the extras and the girls that wore white didn't do extras, but they sort of mixed them.
Yeah. This time, everyone was wearing, in one of the scenes, everyone was wearing white except for Riley. She was
Right.
wearing pink.
Right.
So it was really, I mean, it caught my eye for sure.
Exactly.
immediately.
And I think that might be the reasoning behind it, is so that you know who the storyline is focusing on that week.
Interesting.
You'd have to like go back and watch all the episodes sequentially to see if like the week that they focused on Kendra, Riley and Kendra wore pink
Interesting.
and everyone else wore white.
That's a really astute observation. If
Yeah.
that's correct, that would be.
It would be like smart of the showrunners to be like, okay, we need to make them stand out as much as possible,
Yeah.
but they're still wearing a uniform.
Yeah.
Or else it's just a sea of white.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I like that symbolism that I
Yeah,
think
me
that colors,
too.
and I think that's very important.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Me
like one
too.
of those things that you have to like look out for. A lot of people use colors to make you focus on certain things.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can I talk about the guy dying?
Yes, please.
Earl?
Well, I really want to know the significance of
Okay,
the whole thing.
because they did sort of. It was very big in the press that Betty White was going to be a guest star on the season finale. She was going to have 2 episodes.
we
they
thought she was going to
said.
be the grandmother for a brief moment.
Yes.
That was
Because
just
they
our
didn't
assumption.
right. They didn't release her character role ever, and it's a big thing. You're having Betty White guest star on your show. You don't like bring someone in like that for shits and giggles, and they basically
That's
did.
basically what it was.
She had one scene
yeah.
that was like, why did you even bring in Betty White? You could have hired any old lady to do that, and we would have been just as grossed out.
Right. Right. And it was very brief. And even if there was like a little bit of symbolism, I could have done without it. I mean,
didn't even
loved
catch
seeing
it.
her.
I would love for you to explain your symbolism that you created in your own mind.
Well, actually, that I created in my head. Well, actually, first of all, I would like to think that the writers wrote this part and they were sitting in a room and they were thinking like, who would be a hilarious person to play this role? And I think Betty White, for somebody that has the reaction that she has when she finds out that her husband has died on the massage table and she's like ecstatic, it's like you need somebody like really just, you know, like a classic.
That's a lot
and I think
of energy.
to just be like happy about it and have it be funny and not
Over the top.
and not terribly dark and weird.
Yeah.
But I do think
I do see that.
I do think that it's symbolic in some sense that she talked about how she was in this marriage that she despised, but she married him when she was 19 and she despised him and she got another lover, but you don't leave a marriage, you stick with a marriage. And I think that the fact that Kyle came back this episode, that's kind of like, you know, that is speaking to Riley and like what she should do because now she has a big decision to make.
Right. And we did have that other scene with Taylor where Taylor was like, I think a marriage should be like
Right.
a contract where if after 5 years it's not working, you move on.
And that's exactly. So these are all little snippets of like and influencing her as to what she needs to be doing.
Right.
The only thing I don't like about it, I mean, I get all that, but she, despite the fact that he left and all that, she wasn't miserable. Like, she loves him.
Her husband?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
which
they
is
have a
why I
steamy,
was like
you know,
so
sex life and all that.
surprised that she reacted the way she did when he came back.
Right. I don't even believe he was on drugs at this point. He does not seem like someone who is just out of rehab.
Not at all.
Not at all. I almost feel like that's a lie, but whatever. I guess we'll see. There's no
No,
point.
I mean he admitted it and he was like, "How did you know about that?" And I mean that would explain like why he didn't realize he was gone for a year.
I like
he
your
was
drugged
like,
out.
Thank you. He was like in a weird like drug pill popping haze for like a year.
But now he's just all better.
But
Oh
now
yeah, I
he's,
forget
like-
a year has gone by.
Yes.
I forget.
But
Okay.
that's the thing. Like if he showed up after a year of like doing like let's say Vicodin every day for the
Right.
past year, like 20 pills a day, he would look like crap. He wouldn't look the way he did.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely looks reformed. He doesn't look bad.
No, he
doesn't-
looks refreshed. He looks like he's been at the
Sexy.
beach.
Yeah, a little
He got a
tan.
nice fresh tan. Got his haircut.
But so that's the only thing I didn't like about. I mean, I get
Clean
all those
shirt.
marriage analogies, but she's not completely miserable in her marriage. So it's,
Well, she has been for the past year,
but only because they've had financial issues and things like that.
and he walked out on her.
Yeah, he walked out on her, but that doesn't mean she doesn't love him anymore.
No,
So,
not at all. But
Sarah-
I think okay.
Oh,
Ask your
sorry,
question.
Sarah.
No,
Do
go.
you? So, would you next season? Do you want to see Riley and Kyle work it out?
I mean, I feel like if I say yes, that
No, say it.
Okay.
You want to say yes, and I'm gonna agree with you,
I just
and
feel
I'm gonna
like
tell you why I agree. with
okay, I'll say this. I feel like if you get married, you get married for life. Hopefully, you know. I mean, I know there's circumstances that, you know, can change that, but I feel like you should do it for life. And I know what he did was wrong and things like that, but I feel like
People make mistakes.
people make mistakes, and if they can get past it, if they try everything that they can do and go to counseling and things like that, and it's just not working, then I think, no, I understand you can go your separate ways, but you did everything that you could do. I know that if it were me, I would want to know that I did everything that I could do to, you know, she's also not completely, you know, innocent here. She's completely lying about what she does to her husband, to, you know,
Her friends,
her
her
brother-in-law, her friends, her family.
That's true.
So, I mean, who's to say what's worse, you know? I mean,
That's true. But she also was put in a
very
position
true.
where she kind of needed to do that.
She got the job before he left.
but he could argue, I mean, I don't want to take his side on all of it, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. He could argue that he did what he had to do, walk away from his family and go get help for his problem and all that, so that he didn't have to do that in front of them.
Interesting.
I mean, you make very strong.
That's a
points.
really good point.
Yes,
Right?
you do.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say that I would like to see them back together for a different reason.
Okay.
What's your reason?
For the sake of the television show. For
I thought you were going to say for the
it'll
sake of the
cause
children.
drama.
For the sake of the children, gosh darn it. No, for the
David,
sake of
child
the
advocate.
television show, I could care less about the kids. They annoy the crap out of me. These kids.
Yeah.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Get out.
I know they
no,
started giving them more lines and stuff, and I'm like, okay, please stop.
Just stop.
we
Let's
know you
write-
have kids.
Let's write the children out.
We know you have kids.
No, for the sake of the drama of the television show, it's great when you have a love triangle.
Right.
Sort of it like moves things forward and makes things more interesting to watch for the viewer. That's the only reason I want him sticking around.
Well, do you think that Riley would have an affair with Evan?
She already kissed him. She already did have an affair.
Yeah, but in her defense, she thought her husband was gone.
She knew in the back of her head that he was coming back eventually. Let's just put that out there. But we're talking about the rub right now. We're not even talking about that right now.
Sorry.
I think that the triangle would be more fun to watch if Kyle and Riley were back together and they knew, and
That's
Riley
what I'm
knew that
saying.
she could never do anything with Evan and didn't do anything with him, but their tension and their sexual chemistry.
That's what I'm saying.
Just every time you saw them together, you would want them to kiss.
Yeah.
What about Dr. Mark? I mean, what would he think?
Dr. Mark has been written out of the show. We'll just put that out there that he's gone.
Dr. Mark, you're fired.
Dr. Mark has been
He
fired.
got out of there quick.
Got out of there really quickly. He's
Okay, we
joined
have
the
more
hair club
stuff
for
about
men.
the rub.
Do we?
I mean, can we cut to the end or
Yes.
no? Okay, well, I mean, some big stuff happened at the end with the rub. Huge
Yeah.
stuff.
But I think it's fine that we cut to the end. We're sort of already talking about Kyle.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
And
just
since
make
you
sure.
brought it up, I'm going to let you talk about it.
Okay, great. Oh my God, I'm nervous. Okay, so, I think it's important to say, though, that there's a scene where Riley is there at the rub, and I think she's alone or she's at the front desk alone, and the cop with the boots comes to visit her, and he's like, I heard that you're in charge now. Who knows how he heard that? Who knows? Maybe Georgia, oh my gosh, maybe she's like
A rat?
playing both sides, yeah.
I mean, it'd be smart if she was.
And he brings her a plant, and he basically says, girls like you should know people like me, and I can help you. And it's kind of like, here's a plant.
Right.
See ya.
Which is very important because she
Right.
sort of has somebody on her side.
Ish.
Sort of ish.
And he did look a little bit hotter than I remembered this time. Anyway, side note. I mean, we have to talk about the man candy. Or
We
else
do. And we
it's no
will
point.
in a minute.
Okay. Oh, yeah, true. Okay, so I put that there was an explosive ending, even though no explosion. Basically, Riley gets a call from Georgia, and we don't hear Georgia's side of the conversation, but we do see that Riley has to get to the rub right away and get the client list out of the safe or wherever it's stored. And so Riley,
Even though Georgia had warned her earlier to take it and put it somewhere else.
right.
Yep. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. She
Right.
did not heed that warning and
Right.
just left it there.
Well, and obviously Georgia went in there and saw that it was still
Right. So Georgia is not on vacation.
no. So that's another thing that I just realized right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting.
yeah. So and then when Riley enters the rub, the alarm goes off, which we know will send the cops there immediately.
Right.
And you were like, why doesn't she know the code to the alarm? That's like an obvious thing that you would know.
Well, another thing, an obvious thing about when an alarm goes off,
It sounds similar to that.
sounds a lot like that.
And that was playing the
you-
last 5 minutes of the show.
You know that the police station is first going, the alarm company and the police station are both going to call
Right.
the location.
Right.
And if you pick up those phone calls and tell them, don't worry
Don't
about
come.
it, don't come, they will not come.
No.
Because they don't want to waste their time. If you leave the alarm running and you don't pick up the phone and you're just like standing there acting a fool, of course they're going to come. What are
Right.
you, mentally ill?
Well, and there was no.
Like, what is wrong with you? Just pick up the phone and be like, hey, don't worry about it. It's fine. The code
Right.
is ashes and
Right.
cream.
Exactly.
What kind of code is that?
Wow.
Ashes and cream?
That's a little
I don't know.
strange.
It's just a
Anyway.
code. You come up with whatever you want to come up with. You can be like, the code is pineapple.
Yeah. Anyway.
It can be anything. Light bulb.
Okay. Yeah. Terrible. So now I'm off track because you're talking about
Sorry.
pineapples. Okay. Sounds good to me.
I'm talking about the alarm going off and how she should have just picked up the phone to let them know not
Okay,
to show
but there
up.
was no
But
phone
she
call.
didn't.
So she's
There was
scrambling.
a phone call. She was just outside.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, she's scrambling around, finds the client list, she gets it, and then she spins around, and Kyle has followed her to the rub. And
Right.
he's like, this is the only place I could talk to you. I'm sexy, blah, blah, blah. I love you, and all that. And, she actually talks to him, and she's just like, I'm a different person than the one that you were married to. And he's like, well, I'm the same. So clearly they're on two different pages. And then she's like, well, why did you even come back anyway? And he's like, I came back because I heard you were in trouble. And then as he says that, we see like sirens going, or we hear them, and we see those boots pop out of the car, our favorite cop. And yeah, so you know, and he's like, are you in trouble? And then she's like, she doesn't, you know.
How do I deal with you?
She looks terrified. So we shall see. But, you know.
We shall see.
Who told him she was in trouble?
Right.
Yeah, who
I
told
think
him?
that is the question.
What if it was Lacey? I just thought about that. She's the only one who knows what's going on.
But Lacey was so upset when he came back. Like, how would she have gotten in contact with him to tell him, you need to come home, Riley's in trouble?
What if she told her husband?
And her husband
and
told
her
him?
husband told him.
No, I don't think so.
What if it was Georgia?
No, I don't know.
I mean,
No.
I'm like trying to think about that. I mean, because it might be a possibility.
I mean, and he was in Narcotics Anonymous. It really confused me when he said NA. I was like,
Right.
huh? And then, so I feel like it's someone he met there. I don't know who it would have been, but obviously it's someone we
It
know.
might be someone that's going to come up and we'll eventually meet them.
You think it was
I
Selena?
highly doubt it. I think it could be Selena. It could be anybody. It
Because
was
she
just a way to get him
she
back.
knows
I
both
think.
of them because she went to high school with them.
Right.
So that would make sense.
But
Ew,
she
what
would
if
have to
they
have been in
start
contact
boning
with
down?
her. They might. They might.
Ew.
Selena's like that. Selena's
That'd be
that
like a
type of
trashy,
lady.
Yeah, she really is.
She's that type of girl.
trashy couple.
Except would she be willing to do it and not charge though?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
She didn't charge Evan.
So
Let's just
anyway,
put that out there.
Hold on, did her and Evan sleep together?
no, they just made out fiercely, right?
I
Yeah.
don't know, but if
See, Evan's too much of a good guy to do that. I
Yeah,
think.
see, that's another thing. I mean, if he had taken charge and just threw her, if he had
I'm
pulled
going
a
to tell
Dr.
you guys
Mark.
a secret. If you're in need of condoms for boning down, do us all a favor here at
My
AfterBuzz
God.
TV. And log on to
Nice
our website
segue.
if you want to purchase them online and you don't need them immediately, although you can get next day shipping. On Amazon.com, you can purchase
Wow.
such
Wow.
things by clicking on our website and then clicking on the Amazon link and then purchasing things like that. You know, you can buy anything there.
I was going to
not
say, you can
just-
also get books.
You can get books,
School
and
books even.
music and clothes.
Right.
I had no segue to school books.
Well, I was
I
just
had a
trying to say
segue.
it's for everybody.
Two condoms.
Okay.
But it is
for
a
everyone.
family-friendly website.
Yes. Thank you.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
that.
So AfterBuzzTV.com, click on the Amazon link for all your needs.
Ding.
All
I feel
needs.
like there should be like a little
There's a,
gleam. A gleam.
A gleam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
I
sparkle.
put that out there.
Little jazz.
So there you go.
Yay.
I like that.
A little bit
I
of
like
a
that.
delay reaction, but
It's
that's
totally
okay.
that. And now
Commercial?
we're going to talk about.
The
We're not
commercials.
going to go on
No,
a commercial
we're
break,
gonna
but
talk
we're gonna
about the
talk about
commercials.
the fun commercials that I think Lifetime sort of threw in for us.
Yeah, I like that. I like countdowns.
I love countdowns.
So they did sexiest moments, sexiest outfits, and sexiest clients. I
Okay.
don't think I'm leaving out any of them.
I don't think so either, but you read us the sexiest moments. It was the top.
Oh, I didn't write them down. Did
Okay.
you? I
No.
mean, the sexiest moments, the sexiest scenes. I just remember the last three were Evan, or the top three, I should say, were all Evan. It just said Evan, 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 and like they just did like flashes of his face and the scenes that they've had, and I was like, snooze, really? This is like. I don't think that's the sexiest scenes that they've had. Do you? I think her scenes with her husband are way hotter.
I think so too, but those are all memories. So do they count? Is the question.
Yes, they do.
I think they count, yeah.
They're sexiest scenes.
Okay, I think,
it's just-
I
a
think
scene.
personally the sexiest scene was the one where she was dressed like a maid.
I knew you were gonna say that. That was one of them.
that scene was
number
so
4.
hot.
That was like number 4.
That should have been number 1.
Sexiest clients, I actually agreed with because the number 1 was that guy that she ended up going on a date with that she accidentally touched his.
Wiener.
Yeah, I hate when you. I hate when
His
you
hot
say
dog.
that. Please just call it a normal thing.
His penis.
Yeah, but not. Can you say it not in an accent?
I don't think he can. I think
No.
it's the shirt.
I think it's the shirt.
David, just say
and
it. We'll agree
I
and say it
like
together.
saying things that are phallic shaped with accents.
And you need a beret right now.
I was just thinking that.
Like banana.
No. That like creeps me out, that accent.
Anyways,
Anyways, I thought he was sexual. We really liked him, and we
I
were
liked him.
sad.
Was he the sexiest client? I'm trying to think
He
in
was
my
pretty
head.
hot. I mean,
He
They're
was.
all good looking.
They're all very good looking. Yes.
yes.
Like, I wouldn't kick any of them out of bed.
Or your
mean-
massage table.
There's been a few. The guy that died on the massage table, you really would.
Who? Earl?
I love how you refer to him as like I've
Yeah,
been.
me and Earl are friends now.
Yeah, that character.
You and Earl go for coffee and cookies.
Yeah,
On a weekly basis.
he's like a well-known actor. He's been in a lot
No,
of things.
I
I can't recall what his name is right off the top of my
He
head.
was the dad in something, and I was trying to figure it out. I should have looked it up. But he was the father, like the main patriarch of like some legendary show, and I just
Webster?
don't even know what it is. No, Funky Brewster. No,
But he wasn't in there for
someone
extras. He was just there for a straight
Me too.
massage.
I know, but I thought maybe it was going to go there, and I thought it was going to get a little weird. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so
I sort
anyway,
of can't remember any of the clients, so I'll just agree with you.
I mean, he was really. We really liked him. If you go back and you watch it again, you'll remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was fun that they did all that, and her outfits are great. I mean,
Love her.
they
outfits.
named them that red dress. Remember that she wore to that benefit? They called it the hot tamale.
Yep.
I was
Cute.
like, oh yeah, it was cute. It was cute.
Cute. It's red.
It was cute.
I like hot tamales. the
Personally,
candy.
I liked when she wore those jammies that one time. It was completely uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
I think that should have been one of them. But anyway, I thought that was fun. I really liked it.
I did too.
Yeah, I bet their stylists just have a lot of fun on that show because they can really just do whatever. That's
Right.
really cute and just like
As long as
Fun,
there's cleavage.
cute, tight,
yeah,
short, shiny.
Yeah.
leather. What about that leather dress she was wearing?
Tonight,
That was a great.
the
Yeah.
dress was awesome.
When?
When she was beating up the stove or the washing
Oh,
machine.
the
whatever
washing
it was.
right.
She was wearing like this awesome leather cutout
I
dress.
remember
It
it.
was just so freaking cool.
I
Yeah,
liked that
with these
too.
like 5-inch heels.
Always.
Always. She's never in flats. Not
Never.
even.
Not even when she's in bed.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not even when
Her
she's
slippers
in bed.
have heels.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So do her flip flops. On that note, we're gonna jump to a quick commercial break and come back with your news and gossip.
Do you want to do
Hey there,
death?
good buddies. The handle's Woolly Bear. I'm a truck driving man, but I'm not that old school kind of truck driving man, no. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm driving through these great United States of ours. And my favorite podcasts in the world are from AfterBuzz TV. And why? Because AfterBuzz TV is like a post-game wrap-up show for all your favorite TV shows, like Jersey Shore, Dancing with the Stars, Mad Men, and a whole truckload more. I like listening to my Gossip Girl podcast, catching up with all my fellow fans and getting all the latest news and gossip. No, I got some strong opinions. And AfterBuzz TV lets me share those opinions with thousands of other listeners. Woo-wee, what a feeling. I used to doze off on those lonely stretches of road. And don't worry, I got the cruise control. But now I'm wide awake and listening to all the AfterBuzz TV goodness. Check them out, give them a holler, and tell them the old Woolly Bear sent you. AfterBuzz TV News.
Jennifer Love Hewitt is mourning the loss of her mother, Patricia, who passed away 2 weeks ago on Tuesday from complications due to cancer. The actress's rep tells Us Weekly she was 67 and she was an angel to all who knew her, and they were grateful now she's in a better place. They ask for privacy at this difficult time. Patricia was a speech pathologist who was survived by her daughter, 33, and Dr. Todd Hewitt. Jennifer and her mother moved from Texas to LA in 1989 to pursue a career in show business. The following year, Jennifer joined the cast of Kids Incorporated, also starring Eric Balfour, now 35, who also starred Fergie and Mario Lopez. Jennifer went on to appear in a string of TV and movie hits, Party of Five, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Can't Hardly Wait, but
Remember
she was
Time of Your
never
Life?
lost sight. I don't remember that. She never lost sight of her dream her mother helped her to achieve. She said, quote, "I've never tried to act too crazy or disrespect the opportunities that I've been given or the people that believed in me. I've been really blessed, and I don't necessarily know what keeps one person here longer than somebody else, but I couldn't feel more grateful." So our condolences go out to the Hewitt family.
Yes, condolences. That's terrible.
Terrible
Yeah,
thing.
it's
Just died at
awful.
such a young age.
Yeah,
But you know, our hearts are with you.
for sure.
And we love you.
It's hard to follow that with anything.
We live
right?
for you. It is really hard to sort of
I feel
follow
like-
that with anything.
I mean, do
Yeah.
you think that's even important?
Well, it does.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, sure. So this is the power of the female consumers has also driven the worldwide success of erotic 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, a book series with such mainstream popularity among women. It has actually been nicknamed the mommy porn. So far, 50 Shades of Grey has sold millions of copies and has been snapped up for a movie project. Like a viral video, its grassroots popularity has made the publishing and film worlds pay attention and has brought a fresh focus to the market for sexy fantasies aimed at women.
Which the client list is.
It really is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's a little bit more. I feel like a lot of those. It's kind of like a man's world, but this is strictly for women.
Yeah.
And they have this, and then this article was about Magic Mike, which is going to be amazing. But
It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Premieres this Friday.
yeah, definitely going to be there. But it's all I like it. It's
Which
all
stars Matt Bomer. Eric Balfour actually is in it.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
And is it just about strippers?
It is
It
actually about what's his face, Channing Tatum's life before he was an actor.
Right.
When he was a
Get out of town,
exotic
really?
dancer
Yeah,
in Florida.
but he's, like, getting
loosely
in-
based.
Yeah, he's getting in some trouble with like his former coworkers because they're like, hey, that's our life, and we're not getting any sort of
Exactly.
compensation. But there's man meat.
I mean, there's some
Just like on the
great
client list.
stars
Yeah.
Yeah.
in that movie.
And it actually looks, if you watch the trailer,
looks
like
very
it looks
interesting.
really good. I'm not kidding. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, despite the
Shockingly enough.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the male version of Burlesque
and that hot
and or Showgirls.
that hot guy from True Blood is on there too.
Yeah.
Ooh, love him.
That's Eric
Yeah.
Balfour.
No, that's not Eric Balfour. His name is Joe something.
Oh, right. Yeah. Excuse me.
Hello.
Joe Manganiello.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Hello. Anyway.
Thank you. And what's the other one's name? Alex Pettifer's in it.
Yeah, he's cute.
Who I'm
too.
shocked has a career still.
I thought you said
He's cute.
Alex pedophile for a minute. I was like,
Yes.
who?
Yes, Alex Pedophile.
He's cute, but yeah.
Ooh, I know
That'll
some
give
things
us our
about
man
that
meat
boy.
fix while the client list is away.
Yes, it will. Is there any other
No.
news and gossip? Okay,
No, we're
that's your
good.
AfterBuzz TV news and gossip for the week of June 26, 2012.
Prediction.
Now,
Predictions, everybody,
your AfterBuzz
predictions.
TV predictions.
I mean, we've been talking about it a lot throughout the show tonight, and throughout the whole season, I think, of whether or not this show in general has staying power.
Right.
Um,
I think it does.
and I think it does. In the long run, I think they are going to sort of have to move away from the rub.
Yeah, it's going to need to evolve. They're going to need to really start developing some storylines. I think it'll start becoming, I think with the way it is now, it won't be on for more than 4 seasons.
No, if
way.
it continues with this format, there's no way that it can.
Yeah,
is the
there's-
problem. But I think they've sort of set us up for a great season 2.
I think they'll have enough to work with
Yeah.
for that. And
Whether or not George is going to be coming back, whether or not the rub is going to be around,
Because
whether
they
or
can-
not Kyle's staying, if she's going to be having a relationship with Evan.
there could be new man meat in
There
the
could
future.
be new man meat in the future. There will be new man meat in the future.
Exactly. I forgot what I was gonna say. Shoot.
I feel like my prediction for season 2, I think that Kyle and Riley will get back together.
Okay.
But I
agree.
think that Kyle will find out what Riley is doing, and that's
Yes.
going to drive a huge wedge between them.
I
And
agree.
now it's going to be like tables have turned. Now she's the one that's in the wrong, and the dynamic will flip.
I think so too.
I think what I was gonna say is I think that they can. That's like two separate things: the rub going down and Riley's whole family and her whole facade completely being
shattered.
revealed. I feel like they can take the rub and the whole shakedown there and carry that out for a while, and then eventually have Riley's friends and family all find out. I feel like that's like two separate things that they can sort of, I don't know, build suspense with for
Right.
at least a season 2. And then after that, it's just going to have to be a whole different show. I mean, because we're not going to wait 5 years for them to find out what's happening.
Yeah,
there.
or wait 5 years to watch her become a drug addict again.
Right.
'Cause I can't wait for that.
Again? What do you mean?
In the movie.
Oh, well, this
Full-on
isn't the
cokehead.
movie.
I know, but I want that to come back. I thought that was.
What
a
if she
great-
starts taking Kyle's pills? Ooh, juicy. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm really
excited
sad
too.
that
I'm sad.
I
You know,
won't-
it's probably gonna be. It will be a new year the next time I see you two.
that's not
I mean,
true.
that's not true.
That's rude.
But the next time I see you two and we're discussing the client list,
Yes.
it will be 2013. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. We could
only
be married
June.
with 4 kids by then.
Literally.
Hopefully.
In TV world, we
It sounds
could.
longer than it is. It's actually really only like 6 months away.
Well, yeah, if you put it into perspective.
But client list time, it's about 5 years.
Yeah.
By this time, we could die.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
That is really
That's awful.
morbid.
note
Why
that
did I
you-
even say that? Why
Don't
would
leave
I
on
even
that
say
note.
I'm not leaving on
We're
that
all
note.
about love here.
We're all about love and happiness and forgiveness.
Hopefully
We're so
Jennifer will have a
happy.
new album out by the
Yeah,
time.
Oh
that
my
would be
God.
amazing. I would live for that.
Yes.
Maybe she can.
People ever die.
No, no. But we're gonna just thank everyone for tuning in this season.
Thank
So
you.
much fun.
Had so much fun with you guys, and
Such a great show.
hopefully we'll see you next season.
Yeah.
Right. So from everyone here at the AfterBuzz TV studios, myself, the 2 lovely ladies across the table
Oh, you're
from
lovely
me,
now. Yeah, now you're
I
lovely.
earned
have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next season.
Smooches.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.